I'm Daphne Quay, your Boss Lady Realtor, and today we are going to talk about the best places to work out of in Austin, Texas. As I mentioned, today we're going to talk about the top places to work from if you are working remotely in Austin. So many different jobs did go remote, and so many people have the option to literally work from wherever they want. If you're living in Austin and have the option to work remotely, and I think this is probably true literally anywhere in the world, I think people get pretty stir crazy if they're just sitting at home at a little computer at a little desk for like 8 to 9 hours a day. So what I wanted to do is share some of my favorite spots throughout Austin that I've really enjoyed working in. Also, please make sure to watch this video to the end because I have one place that I want you to know is terrible to work out of. You would never expect it. It's kind of a shock. It's one of my favorite places like on earth, but it's terrible to work out of. With that said, let's go. I'm gonna tell you my favorite spots. Spot number one is kind of a surprise, I think, to a lot of folks, but the Austin Public Library located downtown is regal. It is beautiful. I think it's like 6 stories and it's super modern. It's very open, airy, tons of natural light, really beautiful, modern, high-end finishes. And the top floor has a rooftop patio that feels like a downtown, like rooftop bar. It's not, there's no alcohol there. It's got excellent panoramic views of downtown, and it's so elegant and so beautiful, and there's always so many people there. There's some folks that are there reading, there's some folks that I think you can tell are there working, there's some folks that are there just like hanging out and catching up, but it's a really dope spot to go if you are working remotely. Also, they have a coffee shop on the first floor where you can get like sandwiches, pastries, of course you can get coffee, tea, all of that. You can actually work out of there as well because they have tables and like kind of like a little desk set up. It's so convenient and so unexpected and so welcoming and so charming and highly, highly, highly underrated. Just as time has gone on, like I think lots of folks have like kind of like lost interest in libraries because we have everything online and Kindles and like Audible and all that, but the Austin Public Library is phenomenal. It looks like a museum and you have to go there. Even if you just like walk through it as a tourist. Go, 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 go. It's so, so cool. Spot number 2, I have to start off by saying it's kind of like a little hidden gem that not really that many people know about anywhere. And it's a surprise because this place is owned by a massive bank. Number 2 is Capital One Cafe at the Domain. What is Capital One Cafe, you may ask? So it turns out that Capital One, like the bank or like credit card company, has these co-working spaces and coffee shops literally all over the country. This particular one is located at the Domain, right across the street from Whole Foods, which is another place that I love so much, and I just love the Domain in general. But this place is really cool because you walk in and they've got a coffee shop, and then they've got all these like table desk spaces set up where you can set up shop and just work. The Wi-Fi is really good. They have a couple cubicles where you can just like go in and like they have doors, like sliding glass doors that you can close and sit there and work until you're done. Then they also have like a conference room towards the back of the cafe, which is really big. There's a conference table in it that looks like it probably fit like 12 to 16 people. And then around the conference room, there's a bunch of other like desks and tables set up where people can set up shop and work. The interesting thing about these Capital One Cafe setups is that they also have a bank in there. So if you actually bank with Capital One and you go to the coffee shop, you can get free coffee. Isn't that cool? I also remember when they first opened pre-COVID, they would have tons of promotions on like certain days of the week. You would get like coffee drinks for free, whether you had Capital One or not. Sometimes they had like 50% off day and they would give out cookies. I haven't been there as much since COVID, so I'm not actually sure if they still do this, but the overall setup, the style and the energy in these places is really cool. I think a lot of people that are self-employed or that do work remotely go there, and there's just like a very like focused like energy, and it's like really friendly in there as well. Spot number 3. Before I say what it is, I want you to have an open mind and bear with me because this is an enormous coffee company. And people are probably gonna be like, you shouldn't be mentioning big companies, but like this place is so special. Spot number 3 is the Starbucks Reserve at the Domain. Don't hit me. It's beautiful. This place is super unique and it's so different than any other Starbucks that you've ever been to. The Starbucks Reserve, I think, opened a few years ago. I wanna say circa 2018, maybe 2019 at the Domain. And it is right across the street from the Archer Hotel, which is dope. Watch another video that I have about staying in Austin. I talk about the Archer Hotel. It's so cool. It is also across the street from the Apple Store. The thing that makes the Starbucks Reserve so unique and so special is number one, that it's really big and open. It's super elegant and there's tons of sitting space. The Wi-Fi is really good. They have, of course, like a normal sitting area where you can set up your computer and work from. And then they also have a reserve bar. The reserve bar does more specialized coffee drinks where you can get like, I think it's like finer espresso coffee that takes like a longer time to brew and that's supposed to be a lot more potent. They also do like more specialized like sweet drinks. Like I know they have like coffee drink with like vanilla ice cream in it, which is completely unnecessary, but it's so good. And it just has a really nice vibe to it. If you're anything like me, I personally get my energy from watching other people. So if I'm working, I actually like to be in a spot when there's tons of foot traffic, lots of people watching. It keeps my energy levels up. And this is precisely what the Starbucks Reserve at the Domain is. There's people going in and out all day. There's people having like business meetings there. I do see people that are just like meeting up for fun. And then there's also tons of folks that are just setting up with their laptop and working for hours on end. So if you actually don't like being around a lot of people, you don't like distractions, probably avoid that spot. But if you like energy and you like other people's vibes, go there. It's really good. And the other thing, it's also the Domain. So of course you can get your coffee there in the morning, work for a few hours, and then go to one of the local restaurants and grab some lunch. Spot number 4. Before I get to that, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and click the notification button so you get notified every time I do videos like this one. Also, make sure to watch this video all the way to the end because the last place I'm going to tell you about is a place to avoid working at, because I'll tell you why. Just watch. Spot number 4 is actually a locally owned, kind of small, super cool little spot located on the East Side. I want to tell you about the Austin Film School. So the Austin Film School has like a co-working space called the Austin Cinemaker space. Like I mentioned, they are on the East Side, and it's basically like this big warehouse type space that is made into film studios, photography studios, and they have a couple classrooms in there. And then they've got like a big open space with like desks and tables set up so that you can co-work there. You don't actually have to work in cinematography or be a photographer or an artist for that matter in order to rent some space there. I believe memberships start at like $125 a month. And then if you want to have like a private designated desk, it's like $225 a month or so. The spot is super cute and it's in a really trendy neighborhood. So you can go there in the morning, start working for a few hours. There's a bunch of locally owned restaurants in the area that you could probably walk to or like have a very short drive to, come back, finish up your work, and then you can hang out, meet up with other really cool, kind of fun, creative people that also co-work there. So here we are, we have made it to the end of the video. I am going to share with you a place to avoid working from in Austin. It hurts me to tell you this because this is one of my favorite spots to hang out in the LaT&x, but I absolutely despise working from Mozart's Cafe. I said it. Okay, I'm still alive. The reason I don't like working out of Mozart is because their Wi-Fi is so finicky. I was there a couple weeks ago trying to get some work done. I was there for probably a period of like 2.5 hours, and I would start working on something and I would disconnect from the Wi-Fi and then I'd have to reconnect. I had to reconnect to my hotspot. My hotspot wasn't getting any signal, so like it disconnected from that. I literally feel like I spent 2.5 hours just trying to connect to some holy network that wasn't working. It was really frustrating, and I know I'm not the only one that's had this problem because I've talked to other people that work remotely and they say the same exact thing. Cafe Mozart is dope. It's so beautiful and scenic, and it is so cool to go hang out at, but oh my God, if you have real work to do and you need to be connected to any sort of network, don't do it. Don't do it. Go to any of the other places that I talked about in this video because their connectivity is on point. That is what I've got for you guys today about the top places to work out of in Austin, Texas. If you have questions about, well, our housing market and neighborhoods or other cool things to do or like hang out at in Austin, please leave a comment. I really love hearing from you guys and I really like to know what you guys are thinking and suggestions or questions that you might have. If you're thinking about buying a home or selling a home in the Austin area, please send me an email or send me an Instagram DM. I'm Daphne Quay, your Boss Lady Realtor, and I will see you next time. Bye.